Hey guys, Stitching May here, or Megan, to do an update video. This video is about cross stitch, as is most of my channel. Probably if you're here you already know that, but just in case you're new and don't know how you came to my video, it is all about cross stitch. If you came to my channel new looking for cross stitch, welcome. If you're here because you watched my videos, welcome back. Guys, I've got some stuff to show you. I have 2 new starts, 1 updated whip, and then some haul. So before I jump straight into the cross stitch though, I always kind of do little life updates, and I was going to let you guys know that we went back to Atlanta and for my son's ultrasound, and the area on his kidney is still getting smaller. They still don't 100% even know what it was, but it's getting smaller, so no surgery, and we don't have to follow up for 6 whole months. So we are super excited about that. That was an amazing news in this chaotic world right now. We are still pretty much staying at home as much as possible. We're getting into our more summer routine. We have been up to my in-laws some. We've been outside mostly. We tore down my deck. They built a deck. Now they're about to open up their pool. I'm sure my son's gonna, take part in the pool this summer. He's looking forward to that. Other than that though, we went out to eat once. I got to do dinner with the lovely Eclectic Possessions after Connor's appointment. And speaking of Emily, if you guys don't watch her channel, you may not know that she's doing an amazing fundraiser for her job. She has all the details in her video. I'll link down below. But they are doing a duck derby, which fundraises for the children in their care. And she has said that if she sells 1,000 ducks, she's going to get a rubber duck tattoo. Not to mention there may be some giveaways going on as well if you buy ducks. So if you're interested in that, I'll drop a link below. An amazing cause. They do it every year, and I just really want to see Emily get a rubber ducky tattoo. Who doesn't want to see that, right? And I think we could convince Jim. I think he's saying something about letting them draw a rubber duck on him with a Sharpie, not a true tattoo. I don't know. I didn't see all that. That was kind of behind the scenes in the comments, but I saw somebody threatening to pick where to draw a rubber duck tattoo on Jim. I don't know. We'll have to see. And I think somebody else in her office has now said that if they do 2,000 ducks, that person will get a tattoo as well. Don't hold me to that. I could be wrong on that. Again, some of that happened in the comments, but I'll link to her video below to where you can get all the information. And so, and that's pretty much it. I did go to a craft store to get some floss, but we haven't been out like we normally do. But that is like the first 2 times that we've been out since March the 13th, Friday the 13th of March. So, anyway, we're trying to get, I won't say back to normal, but slowly do things, because we're tired of sitting at home constantly. My son's missing his friends. We've now let him kind of play outside some with his friends. It's getting slow. Anyway, so the first thing to show you will be my updated progress on a whip. This is the Hands Across the Sea sampler called Jane Marshall. I always want to call it Sarah Marshall because Sarah is one of the people that started the sale. This was, I'll insert a picture of what it's going to look like, and then of course a picture of where I was. This is a sale that was started by Sarah and Ellen, and it was part of the Hands Across the Sea Jane Marshall sale. They called it the Baby Got Outback sale. I picked my own colors, and this is on some 32 count fabric. And I have now stitched an entire other row. Oh, I also got some true gray board instead of the fabric stuck to the other one. But a whole other row. I've got to figure out what other color I'm gonna do inside this row. I don't want too much purple, but I think I may go back with this blue again through here. I'm kind of picking, I was trying to stick to the same color, the same symbol throughout the pattern, but now I'm just kind of picking the color as I go. Whatever color I want with no rhyme or reason. But there that is. And to be honest, I haven't really done a lot of the homework and stuff or prompts. I'm just kind of stitching. So that was it for the old whips, or my whips that you guys are already familiar with. A whole lot of progress, right? However, I don't know if I mentioned in my last video, but I was completely enabled by Ellen, Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour, to start it started off with Ellen, and then she kind of said, well, don't start it if you don't want to, etc., etc. She was but if you want to, go for it, it's amazing. I messaged Emily and she was like, yes, start it. So I ended up getting Dutch Beauty. This is by Perman of Copenhagen. I always want to say it wrong. Yeah, Perman of Copenhagen. Guys, this piece is so large. I had to buy an entire piece of fabric. More into that. When I was discussing this with Emily, I initially thought that I was going to stitch this on Havana by Color and Cotton's, a beautiful piece of Color and Cotton fabric. However, I just couldn't justify the price of the fabric for a whole yard for this piece. So Emily and I discussed colors back and forth, and then I decided on Winter Moon, just plain Winter Moon, and then I was going to dye it myself to kind of add some modeling. So then in order to do that, I then started messing around with dyeing fabric at home to practice. And I had some random, it was called Sandstone Synthetic, and I put this on some Ada the first time. Had to have my hand, I watched some tutorials and then had my hand held virtually, and finally got brave enough to throw the dye on the fabric and ended up with this piece first. That's going to be big. No, that's not going to be big. This piece first. And this is just some random 18, maybe even 14 count Ada. Not 100% sure. And it was so much fun that I decided that yes, I would buy my own fabric and dye it myself. And there's that first piece. And then I wanted to try, because this was less modeled, less dye on it, I wanted to try. So then, hang on, that's a whole other story. So then when I finally got the fabric from, well, I say finally, it didn't take that long. It's just, you know how when you're waiting on something it feels like it takes longer? I finally got the fabric, and either I or 123 Stitch made a mistake, and I got sent platinum linen, 36 count platinum linen. Which is fine, because oddly enough, I like the platinum linen better. If y'all could see this pile of stuff here, y'all would all freak out, because like it looks all neat, but I'm having to dig through stuff as I go. This platinum linen, which oddly enough I fell in love with, and because it's a little darker than the winter white, and I was getting a little nervous again about dyeing my own fabric, so I did go ahead and take 2 pieces of the platinum linen, and I dyed one with tan and one with the sandstone. This is the tan. And it's just a random piece of 36 now, just a random cut, because I couldn't cut the fabric. My husband had to cut the fabric to size because I was too nervous, so he cut the fabric to size, and then I took 2 of the scrap pieces and tried to dye them to see what they would look like. I think that one's the tan, and I'm pretty sure that this one is the sandstone. And he and I both agreed that I should just go with the plain fabric instead of dyeing it, because there was so much room for error. Plus, Dutch Beauty has got, and you can't see a whole lot of change in that right there. Let's try this one and see if it helps hold up the gray. Does that help? There you go. That's the sandstone. But that's the tan. Anyway, They're very close. Plus, Dutch Beauty has got so much on it that I was afraid that I would lose some of it in the modeling. So, here is my very meager start on Dutch Beauty. Just this corner border, and I'm starting into that first windmill. I am absolutely loving stitching on this. The only reason I've not stitched more is because before this one, I started another one. But this piece is what led to me starting that other one, which makes no sense. But they connect. The stories connect, I promise. So anyway, there is my start on Dutch Beauty. I know this is a marathon stitch. It's not a quick stitch, and I'm okay with that. I just have to remind myself of that. So, while I was waiting on Dutch Beauty, and I was having all the fun dyeing, I had some random, I think, orange mango fabric, or dye that I got at Walmart for like $1. I was like, oh, let me try, instead of just the mottled, let me try more dye and see if I can get the kind of all over look. And I dyed this random piece of orange. Again, I think it's 18 count. I need to count it out. That's going to be 14 count, which I need to make sure that's going to work. Anyway. And I got this. And guys, this is so bright. And so not normally me. But I do love this piece. So after I dyed this piece, my husband's like, oh, that's amazing. You're going to have to stitch something on that. And as you can see, I haven't. But he was like, that's amazing. That's beautiful. I really like that color. That needs something that's dark on it, but not Halloween, something that we can put up all the time. Which led me to Google searches, which I found this dragonfly that I'll insert a picture of. And I purchased it and fell in love with it, and then realized that it wouldn't fit on this piece of fabric. So, while we were looking through my patterns, yes, my husband went stash diving with me and I survived, and I've not had to start selling any of my stash. In fact, I've bought more since then. He found Blackbird Designs Blackbird. It's part of the, it's the third one in the Magical Mystery Tour by Blackbird Designs. You know, I've already done Eleanor Rigby. This is a Blackbird. And there's Octopus Garden, Strawberry Fields Forever, Long and Winding Road, and then Yellow Submarine. So he found this one and said, you should do this one on that orange fabric. Well, then we discovered on the 18 count fabric that it was going to be a whole, 4 inches. And it wouldn't be like he wanted to be able to frame it. So now I have got 2 patterns with this, because of this orange piece of fabric, that I want to start that aren't going to work on this piece of fabric. We dug through the fabric that I did have, and we found this beautiful 25 count warm terracotta. And I decided to start it on this. That way it's much larger. And this is what I've been stitching on most of the time, because he is loving it. Every time I stitch on it, he's like, oh, you've got progress, you've got progress. He's so encouraging with my stitching. So it makes me want to work. He completely indulges me when it comes to my stitching. So it makes me want to get this finished for him. He said he's going to hang it up in his music area, because I took over the whole room. So he only has a little corner. Anyway, so he wants to get it framed and hang it up in the house. So I've been working on this like gangbusters, trying to finish it. So yeah, this was started last Tuesday. I worked on it in Atlanta during the appointment. I couldn't go in the appointment. Well, I could have. Only one of us could go into the appointment. We both show up. And I'm a little more nervous at those things. And I know that more than likely my son feels that. So I won't, and my husband's able to compartmentalize a lot better than I am. He also works in the radiology area. So he kind of knows what he's looking at on the scan. So, anyway, he is the one that went back. And I sat in the car and stitched and, like, called my sister freaking out because I felt horrible for leaving my son by himself. He was with his dad, guys. But, you know, had some freak out time and then stitch. She's like, just sit in your car, stitch, you'll be fine. And I did. And we were. And Connor was. And everything was great. I don't think Connor realized I was missing. I think it bothered me more than it bothered him. But anyway, there that is. I've got to finish out this border and then a couple more branches and the bird in the middle. Definitely saying to be done. So excited. So, there's that. As I mentioned in my last video that, I think I mentioned it, that Southern California Stitchers Casey from the Mother-Daughter Trio messaged me and was looking for a sale to start. So we decided to do our own sale, and anybody can join in that wants to. It is any ink circle design that you want to do. We are doing the henna mandala. We are starting this June the 11th. You can do any ink circle that you want to do. I am using the fabric that I dyed, which is another reason I need to figure out what count this is. I think it's going to fit no matter what. Yeah, I think it'll fit no matter what. I'm going to do some measurements later and make sure, 100% sure that it will fit. I thought this was 18 count, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks a little more like 14 count. And I'm using DNC 4135 for mine. And that is it. Also, one that I have planned to start whenever the entire group starts it. Another part of haul. I'll stitch it on this and show what it looks like together. What do you think? Does it look okay? Hold the gray behind it so we can see it. Oh, this will be really pretty. Don't fall. The leaning tower of stuff is summer Quakers. I realized when I did the video with the sun, guys, my mail lady had this folded up in my mailbox like this. Still so angry. Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor. I realized when I did the video with the Sunshine Stitchers that this bundle was already, and I had already done the pre-orders through Crazy Annie's, and she still had some bundles in stock. So I got this one. I did get the called for 28 count. I did even weave. It is on truffle, 28 count truffle. If I picture this plus, it's almost a pink color. Almost a pink color. Get it out of here where you can see it without the glare. But not quite pink. I've had a lot of issues with pink lately. That looks even more pink on the gray. Maybe it is pink. See, it's kind of got a pink hue to it. But it's super pretty. And I got the, of course, went ahead and got the called for Valdani threads. Because I'm loving using them on autumn, spring, and winter. Because I have all four going. Guys, I've started so many whips this year. But I've already had finishes. So that's good, right? That counts for something that I've had some finishes along with my starts. And I'm using the called for Valdani threads. Guys, there's one here that I'm absolutely in love. Every single one of these, there has been one color that stands out to me. And again this time, I wonder if I can guess which one. I'll show them to you. You guys try to figure out which one. Look how bright these colors are. I'm betting most of you guys said this one. But it's not. It's this one. Look at, and it's not even necessarily just the, look at that color, guys. Color's amazing, amazing. That red, such a deep red. Gosh. But that one just sings to my inner 90s child. Reminds me of like Lisa Frank stuff. But that one is beautiful too. I'm not gonna lie. That's my second favorite. So I'll be starting that with the rest of the group. The rest of the Sunshine Stitcher followers. And then that was all the haul. Until I started talking to Emily again. That's Emily and I've been chatting a lot, and we've enabled each other because she helped enable me to do Dutch View, which, by the way, I'm using her conversion, all except for one color. Only one color is the called for color. I'm using her conversion because it made the colors a little darker and not so pale. I feel like they're gonna pop on the fabric more. I bought both sets just in case, and it was ironic. My husband and my mother-in-law, because I was at her house, we all three agreed that we liked Emily's better except for one color, and it was all in the same color, and we chose it's more of a pink color. Pink this entire 2 weeks. So anyway, later Emily was messaging me and she's like, so I think I'm jumping on this bandwagon. And she has enabled me to jump on the bandwagon as well. And we are both, I'm not going to give any details of hers. I'll let her spill her own beans, or she may have already have. Going to start a Carolyn Manning design. I know that EJ from Sunshine Stitchers has started one of these. Several people have started them. They've been popping back up in the feed, and they are amazing. I had 4 picked out. I sent all 4 to my husband and said which one, and he chose this one because this matches our bedroom. It's kind of got blues and turquoise and browns, as you can see. See, they are browns. See the browns? What you don't realize is when you print this out, give me a pointer. These right here are actually a pink color. See this? They come out pink. It was 152 and 223, and they are very, very, very bright pink. And I messaged Emily, I'm like, I'm freaking out. This is not what I saw. When I print it out and look at it close, I can see the pink, but when you look at it from a distance on the computer, it looks really brown. Even the browns were like a burnt, reddy brown color. What was the color of the crayon that we used to have? I can see it. You know, that reddish brown color. Anyway, messaged her freaking out about the pink and said, I'm not going to be able to use, like, I can't stick with the pink. So she graciously sat down with her color card. I was sending pictures and back and forth. And she came up with some different colors. And we decided on some true browns and some different browns and some colors to replace those pinks. And they're not exactly not pink, but they're not as bright pink. They're kind of a browny pink color. And this is them. If you're interested in doing beachcomber, I'm sure Emily won't care if I share it. If you're interested in doing beachcomber, you pick out beachcomber and you're worried about the pinks, let me know and I'll be glad to tell you what we sub for what. Or let's see here. I think 152 became the 452. And then, yes, I'll tell you, I've got it right here. If you want me to do it. 152 became 452, and 223 became 3861. 407, which was one of the Reddy Browns, became 841. And 632, which is another Reddy Brown, became 839. So these are the colors that we subbed out for the more pink colors. And we are starting this on Saturday. I will start it tonight after midnight, which is technically Saturday. And guys, this color palette, let's see if I can show it to you. With the browns. With the pinks, I was a little worried. With the brown, and this does call for some new, some of the newer, it calls for 0005 and 0007, or 05 and 07. This color palette is amazing. I got some extras of each color, so don't freak out when you see all the threads. Some of them are extras. I'll hold this up and you guys see it. Look at that palette. It's amazing. I'm dropping flosses. It's blues and greens and browns. Oh, I can't wait to start it. And because it's going to be full coverage, I feel like it's going to be a different full coverage because it doesn't have all the confetti. I don't know if you can see, but even with the full coverage and the color changes, it's still blocks of color. So I'm really, really, really excited about starting this. But because it's going to be mostly full coverage and you're not gonna see the fabric, I just used a 40% off coupon and got some of this Artiste Raw 32 count linen. And I am doing it on 32 count. So that is everything for this video. So as you can see, a lot of haul. I had gone so long without any haul. And then I started using my birthday money, and then all of my birthday money. I've got a gift card still to Color and Cotton that I'm going to use, and I'm probably going to end up doing if there are ever openings again in her Fabric of the Month. I think I'm going to do save my gift card for her Fabric of the Month members club if it gets opened back up, or when it gets. I know it will be when it gets opened back up, and that's pretty much it. I'm guilty. I hauled again. Oops, I hauled again. I was bad. I didn't talk to Lori at all about it because I knew she wouldn't stop me at all. I even tried to enable Connie, Miss Connie. Guys, she has got the willpower. She was like, no, not doing it, not starting it. I got enough. I need to work on what I've got now. She's not succumbed to any of my peer pressure and enabling. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. I'll see you guys in at least 2 weeks. Maybe I'll have enough progress to come back in a week. I doubt it. So count on it being 2 weeks. If not, it'll be a surprise and you'll get an extra video. Guys, as always, take care and happy stitching.